chosen one. This moment is not random. You did not stumble onto this message by chance. Heaven scheduled this encounter, aligned this exact second, and summoned your spirit because the timing is perfect and your heart is ready. What you are sensing right now is not curiosity, it is confirmation. A divine appointment has just begun. Chosen one. You are standing at the threshold of a supernatural breakthrough. Something has been shifting in the unseen, preparing to manifest in your life in ways you cannot yet imagine. The financial struggle you've been facing is not a sign of abandonment, it is a sign of assignment. You are on the verge of sudden elevation, divine wealth transfer, and a heaven-sent transformation that will rewrite the trajectory of your future. Anointed One scripture says in Habakkuk chapter 2 verse 3 that the vision waits for an appointed time, and that appointed time presses forward now. The delay was development. The pressure was preparation, and this moment is activation. Open your spirit. Set your heart in position, because what is about to be revealed will shift your understanding, awaken your faith, and prepare you to receive what heaven has already released in your direction. Stay with me. Something divine is stirring. Chosen one. Before we go any further, take a breath not just into your lungs, but into the deepest place of your spirit. You need to feel this moment because heaven is leaning in. You are not here by coincidence. You are here because something in the unseen realms has shifted and your spirit was summoned to receive what ordinary ears cannot hear. I need you to understand this with all the weight it carries. Your financial struggle is not the evidence of God abandoning you. It is the evidence of God preparing you. I know what it feels like to look at the bills, the empty account, the late notices and wonder, Lord, why me? Why now? I've been in those nights where I whispered prayers. I didn't have the strength to speak out loud. Those moments didn't break me, they built me. And chosen one, what you're facing now, is building you for a level of purpose that demands a stronger foundation than comfort could ever give you. There were seasons when I thought lack was punishment, but later I realized it was placement. God was placing me in situations where all I had was Him, so that when abundance arrived, my heart wouldn't bow to the blessing, it would bow to the giver. That's what is happening to you right now. The struggle you're in is sacred. Heaven is using it to sharpen your discernment, strengthen your endurance, and cleanse your motives. The financial pressure is not a sign that you're failing, it's a sign that you're being trusted. The Anointed One is always refined before elevated. You may feel squeezed, but that squeezing is producing oil, spiritual oil, kingdom oil, the kind of oil that cannot be bought or faked or rushed. And chosen one, let me tell you what I've learned through my own storms. God will often let every earthly source dry up, so you finally discover that He is the source. I remember seasons where I had to choose between gas for my car or food for that week, moments where the only thing I could offer God was my yes and my tears. But even in those moments, something miraculous was happening. My dependency was shifting, my identity was being rewired, my faith was being stretched beyond what made sense. And in that stretching, heaven was planting seeds for a harvest I couldn't see yet. The same is true for you. When it feels like everything is being stripped away, it is because God is removing the counterfeit so you can recognize the real. But hear this clearly, your struggle is not only about development, it is also about protection. Sometimes God withholds financial abundance, not because He doesn't want you to have it, but because the version of you right now is too compassionate, too trusting, too willing to carry others who were never assigned to your destiny. If God gave you everything you prayed for right now, there are people around you who would drain you dry. I've lived this. I've seen what happens when blessing arrives before boundaries exist. God is not punishing you. He is protecting the future version of you from the present attachments you haven't outgrown yet. You are being hidden the same way rare treasures are hidden, not to conceal value, but to preserve it until the right moment. Chosen one, your financial struggle is also spiritual warfare. Do not underestimate this. The enemy sees what you do not see yet. He sees the generational shift your prosperity would unleash. He sees the ministries you would fund, the families you would rescue, the communities you would transform, the curses you would break. Heaven has marked you as a wealth carrier, and hell has responded with resistance. This is why opportunities slip, why resources feel blocked, why progress seems delayed. It's not because you're unworthy, it's because you're dangerous. I've had moments where everything I tried fell apart, where doors that should have opened stayed shut without explanation. Later I realized those were not natural setbacks, they were spiritual signals. The enemy fights hardest where the assignment is highest. And yet, even in this warfare, you are not losing. The very fact that you're still here, still listening, still hoping, still believing, is proof that you're winning. I've learned that the enemy can attack your resources, but he cannot touch your calling. He can delay your finances, but he cannot cancel your destiny. What God has ordained for you will arrive in God's timing, not the enemy's timeline. And the timing of God's chosen one is always precise. You may feel late, but in heaven's schedule, you are right on time. There were seasons when I begged God to hurry, but if He had answered too soon, I wouldn't have been ready for the weight of what I was asking for. You're not being denied, you're being aligned. Alignment always comes before abundance. As I look back over my own journey, I realize something powerful. Some of the greatest clarity I ever gained came from moments of financial lack. In the silence of scarcity, God's voice became louder. In the stillness of not having, I discovered who I truly was, and chosen one. What you're learning in this season about resilience, patience, faith, discernment, surrender will become the very tools that carry you into your next level. You're not just enduring lack, you're being prepared to handle overflow with wisdom, humility, and purpose. And when heaven opens the door, and it will, you won't just be blessed, you'll be ready, chosen one. As we step deeper into this revelation, I need you to lean in with your spirit, wide awake, because what I'm about to tell you is something most people never discern about their financial battles. When heaven marks someone for a divine assignment, especially one involving influence, stewardship, or supernatural provision, their journey is rarely smooth. It's rarely instant, and it's almost never comfortable. You are not experiencing these pressures because you are cursed. You are experiencing them because you carry a mantle others do not. The weight you feel is not the weight of defeat, it is the weight of destiny settling on your shoulders, shaping you for what is coming. I've walked through seasons where I felt like God's promises and my reality were sitting on opposite sides of the room, refusing to look at each other. I remember being confused, praying, "Lord, if you called me, why does it look like everything is falling apart?" And in the quiet, God showed me something that changed me forever. He said, "Before I trust your hands with abundance, I must trust your heart with adversity." That truth rearranged everything. And chosen one, the adversity you're facing is not random, it's diagnostic. Heaven is examining the condition of your heart under pressure, because pressure reveals truth, not to shame you, but to strengthen you. There were days when I questioned whether God even remembered me, when my plans collapsed, when the opportunities dried up, when people I supported walked away without a trace. But later, I realized those moments were divine sifting. God was removing what was attached to me, but not assigned to me. Many times the loss you experience is not loss at all. It's heaven clearing the foundation for something bigger, something purer, something more aligned with who you are becoming. And chosen one, your life is in that exact phase. The shaking, the stripping, the unexpected turns, they're all evidence that God is preparing space for a supernatural elevation. But let me speak to another layer one that many chosen ones don't see until hindsight. Sometimes God restricts your finances because He's training your spiritual senses. Lack has a way of exposing distractions. It forces you to examine what you've been pursuing, what you've been trusting, and what you've been leaning on. I've had moments where God stripped away the noise so I could finally hear Him clearly. Moments where the absence of resources became the presence of revelation. And the insight I gained in those desert seasons is the reason I can stand in purpose today. That's what God is doing with you. He's redirecting your focus from the temporary to the eternal, from survival to assignment, from fear to faith. Chosen one, don't misunderstand this season. When it feels like things are delayed, you are not being punished, you're being positioned. When it feels like you're falling behind, heaven is actually placing you ahead. The enemy wants you to interpret lack as abandonment, but heaven wants you to interpret lack as preparation. Every chosen one, every prophet, every kingdom builder has walked through this sacred pattern. Consider the wilderness. It wasn't punishment, it was preparation. Consider the silence. It wasn't rejection, it was refinement. You are in holy training. Your emotions may not recognize it yet, but your spirit does. And let me tell you something from my own journey. The season you're in now will make sense later. You will look back and say, if God had blessed me back then, I wouldn't have had the wisdom to handle it. I remember times when I prayed for increase, not realizing that if God had given it to me too soon, it would have fed the wrong habits, attracted the wrong people, or inflated the wrong version of myself. God loved me enough to say not yet, even though it felt like not ever. And chosen one. He loves you enough to do the same. The denial you think you're experiencing is actually divine timing protecting your future. But there is another dimension I need you to feel, not just understand. When chosen ones struggle financially, it often means your purpose is linked to breaking generational patterns. You're not just fighting for yourself, you're fighting for those who came before you and those who will come after you. I've seen this firsthand. I've watched as God allowed certain hardships in my life because He intended me to be the one who finally said, "This cycle ends with me." And it did. You are that breaker in your bloodline. The pressure on you is greater because the victory coming through you will be greater. Generational chains don't break quietly, they crack loudly, and your struggle is the sound of those chains splitting open. Chosen one, let me take you deeper. Financial hardship has a way of building empathy, compassion, and humility qualities required for true kingdom leadership. I've met people who rose too quickly and fell just as fast because they lacked these qualities. But the ones who endured seasons of scarcity, who learned to trust God when nothing made sense, who discovered contentment in Him instead of what they owned, those are the ones heaven can trust with much. God is shaping you to carry blessings without letting blessings carry you. He's refining you so that when abundance arrives, your heart stays aligned with heaven and not with pride. And yes, even though you cannot see it yet, the alignment is happening. The elevation is already in motion. Heaven is not waiting to bless you. Heaven is waiting for you to be ready to receive. This season is not the end of your story. It is the soil from which your next chapter will grow. And when it will grow suddenly, beautifully, supernaturally. Chosen one. As we continue into this missing portion of your journey, I want you to slow down for a moment and truly feel the weight of what heaven is doing within you. This season of financial struggle has not been an interruption to your destiny. It has been an initiation. You are being led through a process that the world does not understand, but heaven recognizes as the marking of someone who is called to carry influence, elevation, and supernatural responsibility. And because of that calling, your path cannot look like everyone else's. Your refining cannot look like their comfort. Your preparation cannot look like their ease. Chosen. 1. One of the most sacred truths you must embrace is that God often hides his greatest warriors in seasons of limitation before revealing them in seasons of power. This hiding is not punishment, it is protection. I've walked through seasons where I questioned why God wasn't opening certain doors, why the resources weren't showing up, why the opportunities felt blocked. But later, I realized God had shielded me from stepping into environments where my unhealed parts would have been exploited, my generosity taken for granted, or my spirit drained by people who saw my heart but not my humanity. And chosen one. Some of the lack you're facing isn't lack at all. It's God keeping you out of places that look like blessings, but would break you. Another layer of this season is the divine separation happening in your life. When God chooses someone, he begins to filter their connections. He begins to cut away relationships that weaken their faith, drain their energy, or distort their discernment. And often the easiest way for God to reveal people's true motives is through struggle. When you can no longer offer what you used to when you step into a season of limitation, the wrong people quietly fade. The right people quietly stay. This separation hurts, but it is holy. It is heavenly alignment disguised as earthly loss. And chosen one God is doing this separation because your next level cannot be shared with everyone from your last. Anointed one financial struggle also exposes the places in your life where fear still speaks louder than faith. Fear of not having enough. Fear of losing stability. Fear of disappointing others. Fear of failing. I've had to face these fears head-on. I had to confront the parts of myself that believed scarcity was safer than abundance, that believed smallness was more responsible than growth. And it was through confronting these fears that God taught me something powerful. Fear is not the absence of faith, it is the invitation to faith. And chosen one heaven is inviting you to step into a deeper, bolder, more courageous faith that does not depend on stability, but on surrender. Your financial struggle is also teaching you to recognize God's voice in new ways. When resources shrink, your sensitivity increases. You begin to notice the gentle nudges, the quiet warnings, the subtle confirmations. You begin to discern God's timing rather than forcing your own. You begin to hear direction where you used to hear doubt. This sensitivity is not something everyone carries. It is reserved for those whom God trusts. And the reason your spirit has been stretched is because God is developing in you a prophetic awareness that will guide not only your life, but the lives of others connected to your assignment. Chosen. 1. Let this truth settle deeply. You are being positioned for a future where you will not only walk in abundance, you will steward it. You will manage it with humility. You will share it with wisdom. You will use it to break chains rather than build ego. The strength, discipline, and clarity being forged inside you now will be the very qualities that keep you grounded when blessings begin to overflow. And they will overflow. This season is shaping your character so your calling can be sustained. You are being trained for increase, even if it feels like decrease. Chosen one, do not misinterpret the process. Heaven has not abandoned you. Heaven is shaping you. You are not being reduced, you are being refined. You are not being delayed, you are being aligned. What feels like struggle is actually strategy. What feels like pressure is actually preparation. And what feels like lack is actually God clearing the space for something far greater than you have imagined. Chosen one. As we step into this next dimension of revelation, I need you to quiet your heart for a moment, because what you are about to hear requires spiritual sensitivity. You cannot process this with logic alone. Your spirit must lean forward. Heaven is not just speaking to you. Heaven is preparing you. There is a divine shift happening under the surface of your life, and though you may not see the movement yet, you have already been set in motion. Financial struggle is not the real battle. The real battle is what the struggle is shaping, unlocking, and awakening inside of you. This season is not designed to defeat you, it is designed to reveal you. Chosen one. Let me share something I've learned through my own wilderness seasons. When God intends to elevate someone, especially someone chosen to steward wealth, influence, or spiritual authority, He will often take them through a period of stripping. Not to shame them, not to punish them, but to detach them from the false identities they unknowingly built around money, success, and external validation. I remember a time where I had everything I thought I needed: resources, opportunities, connections, and still felt spiritually empty. It wasn't until all of it was shaken that I realized how much of my confidence was built on things that had no eternal foundation. Maybe that resonates with you. Sometimes God has to take away what you've been leaning on so that you finally learn to lean on Him fully. And chosen one, here's the prophetic truth. Your financial struggle is not a sign that you're unworthy. It's a sign that God is resetting your foundation. You cannot build a kingdom life on unstable ground. You cannot carry a divine inheritance with earthly habits. You cannot step into supernatural wealth while still operating from survival mentality. Heaven is renewing your mindset, your priorities, your capacity, and your identity. And yes, sometimes that renewal feels like loss. Sometimes it feels like isolation. Sometimes it feels like failure. But in reality, it is purification. It's God removing what cannot go with you into your next level. There were nights in my own journey when I looked up at the ceiling asking God why I seemed to take 2 steps forward and 3 steps back. I didn't know then what I know now. Progress in the spirit doesn't always look like progress in the natural. Sometimes God is building you downward before He builds you upward. He's deepening your roots, strengthening your character, and enlarging your capacity. And the proof that this is happening is not in the numbers in your bank account, it's in your resilience. Because despite everything, you're still here, you're still seeking Him, you're still choosing faith when doubt would be easier. That is the evidence of a chosen one, anointed one. Let me speak deeply to your spirit now. One reason chosen ones struggle financially is because your purpose requires a level of trust that money cannot teach you. Money can make life easier, but it cannot make your soul stronger. Money can open doors, but it cannot open your spiritual eyes. Money can buy comfort, but it cannot birth destiny. I've walked with people who had wealth but lacked wisdom, people who had influence but lacked integrity. You are being shaped to carry what they could not. God is not preparing you for temporary success. He's preparing you for eternal impact. And yes, there will come a time when God entrusts you with more than you can imagine. But first, He's ensuring that your heart will not bow to the blessing. He's ensuring that when wealth comes, your spirit remains anchored. He's ensuring that greed, pride, and self-reliance have no foothold in you. That is why this is a spiritual process, not just a financial one. Divine wealth transfer is not just money being placed into your hands, it is responsibility being placed into your spirit. That's why heaven must shape the vessel before it fills the vessel. Chosen one. There's something else that happens in this season of struggle. Heaven cultivates compassion within you. True prosperity is not selfish, it is generous. And you cannot truly understand generosity until you've known lack. Some of the most kind, giving, and spiritually grounded people I've ever met were those who lived through seasons where they had nothing but faith to hold on to. Their struggle formed a heart that would never oppress others with its blessings. And that's what God is doing with you. He is teaching you to value people over possessions, purpose over prosperity, and compassion over convenience. Let me share a moment I've never forgotten. There was a time when I had just enough money for one meal and someone else needed help. In that moment I felt torn. Logic said, hold on to what you have. The Spirit whispered, trust. I chose trust. And what happened after that decision was not just a financial blessing, but a spiritual awakening. I realized that God was training me for a future where I would need to trust Him, not my resources. That is the same training you are experiencing now. These moments are not accidents, they are divine shaping. Chosen one. I need you to hear this clearly. The struggle is temporary, but the strength it produces is eternal. The lack is seasonal, but the wisdom is permanent. The warfare is intense, but the victory is guaranteed. You are not falling apart, you are being rebuilt by heaven's hands. And when the time comes for your elevation to manifest, nothing will be able to stop it. Not the enemy. Not your past, not your circumstances, not even your own doubts, because what God is preparing you for will not require striving, it will flow. Chosen one. As we continue, I want you to settle into this truth. You are not merely enduring a difficult season, you are being spiritually engineered for a divine assignment that requires strength, clarity, and holy conviction. Everything you are facing right now is part of a heavenly blueprint. Nothing is random, nothing is wasted, nothing is without purpose. Heaven is working with precision, and even the parts of your life that feel chaotic are under divine supervision. The financial struggle you're walking through is shaping you into someone who cannot be shaken, someone who carries authority, someone who will one day look back and realize that this was the making of you. Chosen one. One of the most overlooked truths is that God uses lack to silence the noise around you. Before God elevates a chosen vessel, He often brings them into a season where distractions are removed, where unnecessary voices fall away, where false support systems collapse. Not because He wants you isolated, but because He wants you aligned. I remember entering a season where people I thought would walk with me forever suddenly distanced themselves. Opportunities dried up, plans unraveled. At the time, I felt abandoned, confused, almost betrayed by life itself. But once I stepped out of that season, I realized it had been divine cleanup. God was clearing the path, so I could finally hear Him clearly. And chosen one, that's what He's doing for you right now. He's removing what was draining you, so He can reveal what will sustain you. There is a spiritual law many never learn. Clarity often comes through discomfort. when everything is going well, when money is flowing, when life feels stable, most people don't stop to ask God for direction. But when everything becomes uncertain, the heart becomes teachable, the ears become sensitive, the spirit becomes open. You begin listening not casually, but desperately. And it is in that desperation that God whispers instructions, warnings, revelations, and strategies that will guide your future. This is why your struggle has spiritual value. It's not punishment, it's preparation for revelation. Anointed One, let me share another piece of my journey. There was a time when I prayed for breakthrough but didn't realize my habits weren't aligned with the breakthrough I wanted. I was asking for abundance while living with a scarcity mindset. I was praying for increase while carrying fear, doubt, and old beliefs that were suffocating my capacity for more. God didn't withhold the blessing. He withheld it until I became someone who could manage it. And that transformation didn't happen on mountaintops. It happened in valleys. It happened in moments of lack where I had to confront my fears, confront my emotional patterns, confront the lies I believed about myself. The same transformation is unfolding in you right now. And chosen one, listen carefully. God is not just preparing your finances, He is preparing your identity. You cannot step into supernatural wealth while still carrying a wounded identity. You cannot walk in divine purpose while still defining yourself by your past failures. You cannot steward blessings if you still see yourself as broken. This season is confronting every false identity you've carried so that the real you, the chosen you, the anointed you can rise. That's why things have been intense. That's why emotions have been heavy. That's why spiritual battles have been fierce. Heaven is trying to show you who you truly are. Another reason chosen ones face financial struggle is because your purpose demands spiritual authority over money. Not fear of it, not dependency on it. Authority over it. Money is meant to serve you, not control you. And authority is only formed through resistance. Just as muscles grow under tension, spiritual authority grows under pressure. I've watched people receive blessings they weren't spiritually mature enough to handle. Their blessings became burdens. Their abundance became distraction. Their open doors became traps. God loves you too much to let success destroy you. So He trains you through seasons where money cannot be your master. He teaches you to command peace even when accounts are low. He teaches you to walk in faith even when bills rise. He teaches you to reject fear even when resources shrink. That is how spiritual authority is formed. Chosen. One another layer you must understand is timing. Heaven does not operate according to human deadlines. Divine timing is not delayed, it's deliberate. I know the frustration of waiting, of watching others advance, while you feel stuck, of wondering why your breakthrough hasn't come yet. I've cried those tears, I've prayed those prayers. But when God finally released what He had promised, I understood why He waited. If it had come earlier, I would have mishandled it. If it had come earlier, I would have trusted the blessing instead of the one who gave it. If it had come earlier, I would have attributed success to my effort rather than His grace. Divine timing is not about your impatience, it's about heaven's orchestration. And Anointed One, let me speak boldly to your spirit. You have not missed your moment. You have not fallen behind. You have not been overlooked. Heaven is not late. God is aligning people, opportunities, resources, and divine connections in ways you cannot see. Things that look still on the surface are moving beneath, and when the appointed moment arrives, it will come suddenly, effortlessly, supernaturally. You won't have to chase it. God will command it to find you. Chosen one. Your struggle is not the end, it is the doorway. What feels like pressure is actually positioning. What feels like delay is actually divine timing, and what feels like lack is actually the soil where abundance will bloom. Chosen one. As we continue into this next unfolding of revelation, I want you to embrace this truth deeply. The season you're standing in is not an attack on your destiny, but an activation of it. Many people misunderstand what it truly means to be chosen. They think being chosen guarantees ease, but in reality, being chosen guarantees refinement. Heaven sets you apart, not by giving you comfort, but by giving you capacity. And capacity is not built in abundance. It is built in the tension, the stretching, the uncertainty, and even the financial strain you've been walking through. You are not being weakened. You are being widened. God is enlarging the vessel of your life to prepare you for an outpouring that requires more room than your former self could hold. Chosen one. One of the reasons financial struggle hits those called by God is because money reveals motives. Do you know how many people chase wealth for validation, identity, or ego? But when God marks a person for divine assignment, He will ensure money never becomes their master. Before He places resources in your hands, He purifies the intentions of your heart. I remember a time in my own journey when I thought I wanted abundance for noble reasons, but God showed me that hidden beneath my prayers were wounds. Wounds of wanting to prove myself, wounds of wanting to silence critics, wounds of wanting to escape insecurity. And God in His mercy withheld what I asked for until He healed the parts of me that wealth would have amplified. Maybe that's what He's doing with you. God is not just interested in your bank account. He's interested in your becoming. Financial struggle becomes a mirror showing you where fear still lives, where control is still gripping you, where trust has not yet been fully surrendered. I've had to confront these places in myself. I've had to sit in the quiet and admit, God, I trust you, but not completely. And in that honesty, breakthrough began not financially at first, but spiritually, because once God gains your heart, He can trust your hands. Once He becomes your anchor, not money, then financial blessing is no longer a threat to your soul. Chosen. One another powerful truth is that heaven sometimes restricts resources to break cycles you didn't even know you were repeating. Generational poverty is not just a financial pattern, it's a spiritual bondage. It's a mindset, a belief system, a limiting identity passed down silently through families. The enemy fights hardest to keep chosen ones broke because he knows that once you break the cycle, generations after, you will live in freedom. Your struggle is not only about you, it's about every child you will raise, every life you will influence, every lineage attached to your name. I remember reflecting on my family's history and realizing that God allowed me to step into the battlefield of financial hardship because He trusted me to be the one to end it. And chosen one, God trusts you too. Your battle is generational, but so is your victory. Let me take you deeper. Financial struggle also exposes the false shelters we run to instead of God. Some people run to hustle, some run to people, some run to distractions, and some run to despair. But heaven uses lack to pull you back into alignment. I've been in seasons where I tried to rely on my own strength, only to watch doors close until I surrendered fully. Not halfway, fully. When you reach that place where you say, God, I have nothing left, but you, heaven responds. Because that is the moment you finally place the full weight of your destiny into the hands that created it. Anointed one, remember this before God multiplies anything, He breaks it. Just like bread in the hands of Jesus, brokenness precedes miracle. Your finances may look broken, but they are in the hands of God, not the hands of defeat. Your plans may feel shattered, but they are being positioned for supernatural multiplication. Every chosen vessel experiences a breaking before the blessing, but the breaking is sacred. It strips away arrogance, impatience, self-reliance, and illusion. It empties you of the parts that cannot go into your next season. And though it hurts, it is holy. Chosen one, another reason for financial struggle is that God is strengthening your faith muscle. Faith is not built in comfort. It is built in contradiction. When everything around you says it's not working, but your spirit says, God is still moving, that is faith being forged. I remember seasons where my circumstances and God's promises looked like enemies. But holding on to His word, even when my situation mocked me, created a supernatural resilience in my spirit that no blessing could have ever developed. That resilience is what carries you into purpose. That resilience is what hell fears. That resilience is what heaven honors. And can I tell you the truth? Some breakthroughs require endurance. The enemy studies your patterns, your weaknesses, your thresholds. He watches for the moment you feel tired enough to give up. And that's why he attacks your resources. It's his attempt to weaken your spirit. But what he doesn't understand is that financial lack is actually sharpening you. It is refining your focus, deepening your prayer life, intensifying your discernment, and awakening spiritual authority within you. You are not becoming weaker, you are becoming dangerous to darkness. Chosen one. I need you to hear this with clarity. God is not done with you. The season you're in is not permanent. And though it feels heavy, it is building the strength you will need for the next chapter of your calling. You are being forged in the fire, but the fire is not meant to consume you. It is meant to purify you. And once the purification is complete, the wealth, the opportunities, the divine connections that have been held in the heavenlies will begin to manifest in your life with a supernatural ease that will make you say, "Only God could have done this." Chosen one. As we step into this next flow of revelation, I want you to feel the weight of what heaven is unfolding over your life. This is not just information, this is impartation. This is not simply teaching, this is transformation. You are not here to hear another message. You are here because your spirit is being prepared for a shift that will redefine the way you walk, think, give, and carry yourself in the kingdom. And part of that preparation is the uncomfortable, stretching, refining journey through financial struggle. Not because God is withholding from you, but because God is building something within you that cannot be shaken when the blessing finally arrives. Chosen one. One of the most overlooked truths in this journey is that God often allows moments of emptiness so He can fill you with something eternal. Financial lack is painful, yes, but it is also revealing. It exposes what you truly believe about God. It reveals whether your trust is rooted in His character or in your circumstances. I remember seasons when my entire life felt like it was collapsing financially. In those moments, I had to confront myself. Did I trust God only when things were comfortable, or did I trust Him because He is God, even when everything around me was unstable? The struggle forced me into a deeper faith than I ever imagined possible. And chosen one, that's exactly what's happening inside you right now. You see, God is building spiritual maturity within you. And spiritual maturity is not proven by how you worship when everything is easy. It's proven by how you stand, how you speak, how you pray, and how you believe when everything feels uncertain. Financial hardship becomes the classroom where heaven teaches strength. It becomes the furnace where purity is formed. It becomes the battlefield where trust is forged. And though it feels heavy, what it's producing in you is priceless. You are becoming someone who will not be moved by storms, shaken by delays, or discouraged by opposition. You are becoming someone who carries an unbreakable spirit. Chosen one, financial struggle also reveals your relationship with identity. Many people unknowingly tie their worth to their wealth, their value to their possessions, and their significance to their success. And when these things are stripped away, they crumble. But a chosen one, learns something deeper. You learn that your worth does not come from what you have, but from who you are in God. You learn that your identity is not built on what you can produce, but on what God has already spoken over you. I had to learn this the hard way. I had to walk through seasons where I felt like I had nothing left, not because God wanted to take from me, but because He wanted to rebuild me. And in those rebuilding seasons, I discovered a version of myself that I didn't know existed, stronger, bolder, more anchored, more aware of God's hand on my life. You are finding that version of yourself right now. Anointed One, let me remind you of something powerful. Your financial struggle is not just preparing you for wealth, it is preparing you for stewardship. Anybody can spend money, anybody can desire money, but not everybody has the character to steward wealth in a way that honors God. True stewardship requires discipline, wisdom, humility, generosity, and spiritual sensitivity. And God is using your current season to cultivate those qualities within you. I didn't understand this at first. I prayed for more without realizing I was still living from patterns that would have destroyed more. God had to teach me patience so I wouldn't rush decisions. He taught me discernment so I wouldn't fall for deceptions. He taught me generosity so I wouldn't become greedy. He taught me humility so wealth wouldn't corrupt my heart. These lessons were painful, but they were necessary. And chosen. 1. You are being taught the same lessons right now, even if you haven't fully recognized them yet. Another layer of your struggle is this: God is preparing you to be a witness. Chosen ones are not blessed quietly, they are blessed publicly. And when that blessing arrives, people will ask, "How did you survive everything you went through?" Your story will point them to God's power. Your testimony will break chains off others. Your journey will give hope to those who feel forgotten. But a testimony without struggle is just a story. What God is doing in you right now is crafting a testimony that will carry weight, authority, and transformation. Chosen one. Let me speak from experience. When God finally brings you into your season of abundance, you will appreciate it differently. You will steward it differently. You will guard it differently. You will use it differently. You will honor God with it differently. The struggle teaches you gratitude. The delays teach you humility. The warfare teaches you resilience. And all of it prepares you to carry the blessing with responsibility and wisdom. And hear me clearly, what you're going through is not permanent. This is a season, not a life sentence. This is preparation, not punishment. This is refinement, not rejection. God is not letting you fail. He is fortifying you. He is strengthening the inner chambers of your spirit so that when the blessing comes, it does not crush you. You will not sabotage it. You will not mishandle it. You will not lose yourself in it. You will rise inside it. Chosen one, you are being groomed for greatness by the hands of heaven itself. The struggle is forming the strength you will need for the abundance that is coming. Chosen one. As we continue into this next sacred unfolding, I want you to understand that the very pressure you're feeling is actually the proof that heaven is close. The weight on your shoulders, the questions in your mind, the tension in your spirit. These are not signs of abandonment, but evidence of divine nearness. When God is preparing to shift a person into a higher dimension of purpose, He often allows the old structures of their life to become uncomfortable. What used to work stops working. What used to flow becomes blocked. What used to feel stable suddenly shakes. This isn't instability, it's transition. The cocoon always tightens before the butterfly emerges, and chosen one, your spirit is outgrowing the shell you used to live in. One thing many people never realize is that financial struggle often signals spiritual elevation, not because God wants you to suffer, but because He wants you to see. There are lessons you only learn when nothing else seems to be enough. There are revelations that only come when your usual sources run dry. I remember going through a season where every safety net I built collapsed one by one. It felt unfair, even cruel. But looking back, I now understand it was heaven removing artificial support so I could finally stand in real spiritual authority. And chosen one, that's what is happening in your life right now. God is removing what you thought you needed so He can reveal what you truly carry. Another deeper truth is that God uses seasons of lack to expose who is truly for you. When money is flowing, everyone smiles. When you have abundance, people gather. But when the struggle hits, masks fall. Motives are revealed. Attachments break. The people who remain, those are your real ones. Those are the people heaven intends to align you with for the journey ahead. I've lived this. I've watched people disappear when I had nothing left to offer them. And though it hurt, it purified my circle. It protected my heart. It prepared me for elevation without sabotage. The same purification is taking place in your relationships, even if it feels painful right now. Anointed one, your struggle has also unlocked something powerful: spiritual hunger. There is a depth of longing for God that only emerges when earthly things fail to satisfy. When everything is stripped away and all you have left is faith, your spirit becomes sharp. Your prayers become raw. Your worship becomes real. You stop performing for God and start pouring before God. Some of the deepest encounters of my life came when I was at my lowest financially. When I had no idea how I was going to make it, that's when heaven felt the closest. That's when God's voice cut through the noise. That's when revelation poured out like water. And chosen one, you may not realize it yet, but this season is the birthplace of your spiritual power. Financial struggle also has a way of awakening divine creativity. When resources are tight, God begins to unlock ideas, strategies, insights, and abilities you didn't know you had. Some people never discover their potential because they're too comfortable, but chosen ones, you are forced into innovation. You begin to see solutions other people overlook. You hear divine instruction others ignore. You tap into wells of wisdom that were always inside you but needed pressure to flow. I've birthed my greatest breakthroughs in seasons of lack. Not when I was confident, but when I was desperate. Not when I had answers, but when I had questions. And the same creative anointing is rising in you. Chosen one. The spiritual warfare tied to your finances is also confirmation of your calling. The enemy does not attack where there is no threat. If your destiny did not include impact, influence, and divine provision, hell wouldn't bother you. But the enemy knows something you have not fully seen yet. When God blesses you, you will not waste it. You will build. You will give. You will break generational chains. You will lift others. You will advance the kingdom. That is why the resistance has been so fierce. The warfare is not about who you are right now, it's about who you are becoming. And let me tell you something from my own journey. The attacks intensified right before the breakthrough arrived. Everything got harder before it got easier. Doors shut right before they opened. Resources dried up right before abundance flowed. The enemy always fights hardest at the edge of your elevation. And chosen one. The intensity you feel is proof that you are close, very close. There's another dimension you must understand. God is teaching you to separate your emotional stability from your financial situation. Too many people feel secure only when money is present. But God is building in you a peace that is not tied to circumstances. A peace that confuses demonic opposition. A peace that anchors you when everything else shifts. I remember days when I had to choose between panic and prayer, between fear and faith, between breakdown and breakthrough. And in choosing God, I discovered a strength I didn't know existed. That same strength is forming in you. Chosen one. The season of lack is almost never about lack. It's about becoming. Becoming stronger, becoming wiser, becoming disciplined, becoming spiritually sharp, becoming aligned, becoming the version of yourself that your future requires. Chosen one. As we continue walking through this divine unfolding, I need you to understand that nothing about your struggle is ordinary. Nothing about your journey is random. You are living through a season that heaven is using with surgical precision. Every setback, every delay, every closed door, every unexpected hardship, these are not punishments. They are prophetic indicators that God is preparing you for a level of influence and purpose you have not yet imagined. The financial struggle you've been facing is not a sign of weakness. It is a sign of spiritual weight. You are carrying something powerful, something sacred, something generational, and heaven is ensuring that when the blessing arrives, you will be able to handle it with wisdom, humility, and authority. Chosen one. Financial pressure has a way of stripping away the illusions we've built around our own strength. When you no longer have the resources you once relied on, you discover who you truly are. You discover what you truly believe. You discover how deeply you trust God. I remember seasons when I felt completely overwhelmed. My plans had collapsed, my bank account was empty, and I felt like I was running out of time. But looking back, I now see how those moments became the birthplace of strength I didn't know existed within me. They forced me to stop pretending I was strong on my own and start learning what it meant to depend on God in a real, intimate, practical way. And chosen one, this is exactly what is happening in your life. Heaven is giving you the gift of dependence on God, not on money. Another truth you must embrace is that the lack you're facing is sharpening your discernment. When you have little, every decision matters, every voice matters, every opportunity matters. In abundance, people often become sloppy. They waste time, waste money, waste energy because comfort blinds them. But in lack, you become precise. You begin to see what truly matters. You become aware of distractions. You learn to hear God more clearly. You start recognizing counterfeit doors and manipulative relationships. You begin to value discernment over desire. I learned the value of discernment in seasons where I had no margin for mistakes, where one wrong decision would have pushed me deeper into struggle. That pressure taught me to listen for God's whisper. It trained me to sense His direction, even in silence. And chosen one, this same clarity is being cultivated in you through your current season. Financial struggle also exposes the spiritual attachments you didn't realize you had. You learn what you've tied your identity to. You learn what you've leaned on emotionally. You learn what you've been using to feel secure. And when those things are taken away, you face yourself, and God meets you there. There was a moment in my life where I realized I had been using stability, achievement, and financial comfort as crutches. When God removed them, I fell to the ground, but I fell into His arms. And in that fall, something inside me broke, but something inside me also awakened. I realized that God wasn't stripping me to shame me. He was stripping me to free me. And chosen one, God is freeing you too, freeing you from fear, freeing you from dependence on material things, freeing you from patterns that were holding you back, freeing you from identities that never belonged to you. Another profound reason chosen ones struggle financially is because your future requires mastery, not just blessing. Anyone can receive money. Anyone can spend money. But not everyone can steward wealth with integrity and purpose. God is preparing you to handle the blessing He's going to trust you with. That requires discipline. That requires emotional maturity. That requires spiritual stability. That requires humility. Many people are destroyed by blessings they were not prepared for. But God refuses to let that happen to you. He would rather delay your blessing than lose your soul. He would rather refine you now than watch you crumble later. I once thought God was punishing me by withholding certain opportunities, but now I know He was protecting me. He was shaping me for a bigger stage, a wider influence, a greater responsibility, and chosen one. He is doing the same for you. Your financial struggle is also an indicator of your calling to break generational patterns. You are not fighting for yourself alone. You are fighting for those who came before you and those who will come after you. You are ending cycles that swallowed your family for decades. You are stepping into a new lineage of faith, wisdom, and abundance. I've seen the way God lifts a chosen one after refining them. The blessing doesn't just touch their life, it touches everyone connected to them. It transforms their family. It shifts their children's future. It breaks curses that ruled for generations. And chosen one, you are that shift in your bloodline. This is why the pressure has been intense. This is why the attacks have been targeted. This is why the journey has felt heavy. You are not just living your story. You are rewriting a generational story, and anything powerful always comes with resistance. Chosen one, I need you to hear this with your spirit, not just your ears. You are closer to breakthrough than you realize. The pressure proves it. The warfare confirms it. The discomfort signals it. When things intensify, heaven is near. When resources shrink, grace expands. When opposition rises, elevation approaches. You are being positioned, not punished. You are being refined, not rejected. You are being strengthened, not defeated. This season is not the end. It is the divine beginning of a chapter that will reveal why God allowed every moment you've endured. Chosen one, as we step into this next movement of revelation, I want you to truly open your spirit, because what you're about to understand will help you see your financial struggle through heaven's perspective, not your fears, not your frustration, but heaven's intention. And when you see through heaven's eyes, everything shifts. You begin to recognize that what felt like collapse was actually construction. What looked like decrease was actually divine rearrangement. What felt like delay was strategic timing. Nothing you've gone through has been empty or wasted. Every moment has carried purpose, placement, and prophetic weight. Chosen one. One of the deepest truths you must embrace is this: God often restricts resources to draw out the real version of you, the version that's hidden beneath survival, beneath fear, beneath the expectations of people, beneath the habits of your past. When money is abundant, many people operate from convenience. They avoid the inner work. They hide their insecurities behind success, but when resources shrink, the layers come off. You are forced to confront beliefs, patterns, and wounds you might have ignored otherwise. And though this process is painful, it is also powerful. I remember nights where I sat alone with God and realized that the thing He was trying to fix wasn't my finances, it was my foundation. And chosen one, God is building a new foundation inside you too, one that can carry the weight of destiny. Financial struggle is also a tool heaven uses to separate the voices that influence you. When you have money, everyone has an opinion, everyone has advice, everyone has something to say about your choices. But when struggle hits, the unnecessary voices fall silent. The people who were interested in what you had fade, the ones who are meant for your future remain. There is clarity birthed through hardship that abundance rarely brings. I've watched God remove entire groups of people from my life during seasons of financial strain, not because I did anything wrong, but because He was preparing me for a level they were never meant to step into. And chosen one, God is doing this pruning in your circle too. You may feel alone, but you are being aligned. Anointed one. The pressure you feel is also exposing the spiritual warfare connected to your assignment. The enemy is not attacking you because you are weak. He is attacking you because you are marked. He sees the future you cannot see yet, the version of you who is strong, wise, prosperous, and dangerous to darkness. He sees the impact you will have once you walk in your true authority. And because He cannot stop what God has decreed, He tries to drain you emotionally, mentally, and financially. But hear me with your spirit. His attacks are confirmation. Confirmation that your calling is real. Confirmation that your breakthrough is near. Confirmation that your destiny is bigger than anything you've imagined. Chosen. One financial struggle also sharpens the integrity of your motivations. When you're in lack, you learn why you truly want elevation. Is it to feel worthy, to feel superior, to silence critics? Or is it to walk in purpose, serve others, and fulfill God's assignment? I had to face these questions myself. There was a time when I wanted increase because I was tired of feeling small, but God loved me too much to let that be my motive. He waited until my heart wanted abundance, not for ego, but for assignment. And chosen one this season is exposing and purifying your motives so that when God blesses you, your heart will be aligned with heaven. Another sacred truth is, this financial struggle teaches you the language of faith. When everything is provided, faith becomes optional. But when resources are low, faith becomes oxygen. You learn to speak what you cannot see yet. You learn to declare what does not match your current reality. You learn to trust God even when nothing naturally makes sense. I learned the greatest lessons of faith when I had no safety net, no backup plan, no guarantee. It was in those seasons that my spirit learned to say, God, even if I don't see it, I know you're working. And chosen one. This same spiritual language is being written into your soul. But there is another layer you must grasp. Financial struggle humbles you in a way that pride can never survive. Pride thrives in abundance. Pride hides in success. Pride whispers lies when everything is going well. But struggle exposes pride. It breaks down the ego. It silences self-reliance. It removes illusions. And in that breaking, humility is born, a humility that God can trust, a humility that heaven honors, a humility that opens supernatural doors. I had to be broken of pride before God could elevate me. And though it hurt, it prepared me to carry blessing without letting blessing carry me. The same humility is being formed inside you now. Chosen one. Let me tell you something that took me years to understand. God is not simply preparing you to receive wealth. He's preparing you to become wealth. Wealth in wisdom, wealth in discernment, wealth in authority, wealth in character, wealth in influence. Financial abundance is only one expression of divine wealth. You are becoming the kind of person whose presence carries value, whose words carry weight, whose decisions carry impact. And once God finishes this work in you, money will not control you, you will control it. It will not define you, you will define how it serves your purpose. Every chosen vessel goes through a season that feels like it is breaking them. But in truth, it is building them. You are not decreasing, you are being developed. You are not failing, you are being fortified. You are not being punished, you are being positioned, chosen one. As we continue into this next sacred stretch of revelation, I need you to breathe and allow your spirit to receive this truth. Everything you are going through financially is part of a divine recalibration. Heaven is adjusting you spiritually, mentally, emotionally, and even relationally for the next phase of your purpose. This is not random suffering. This is intentional shaping. And though your mind may struggle to understand it, your spirit has already begun to recognize that something is being rebuilt inside you. You are not the same person you were before this season, and by the time God finishes His work, you will carry a wisdom, a strength, and a clarity that only chosen vessels ever receive. Chosen one. One of the deepest dimensions of your financial struggle is what it reveals about surrender. Many people say they trust God, but true trust is proven when you have no backup plan, no safety net, no predictable path, and still you choose Him. Still you pray, still you worship, still you believe. I remember a season where I had nothing left, no savings, no opportunities, no open doors. And yet in those moments when I could barely breathe, I felt something sacred rising in me. A surrender that wasn't forced, but chosen. A surrender that said, God, even if you don't move in the way I expect, I will still trust you. And chosen. One, this same surrender is taking root in you, the kind of surrender that opens the heavens. Financial struggle is also God's way of strengthening the muscles of perseverance. Anybody can have faith for a week. Anyone can pray when answers come quickly. But chosen ones, we are trained in endurance. We are trained in the long fight. We are trained in the seasons where nothing seems to move, and yet we refuse to give up. I've walked through seasons where I had to hold on to promises that felt distant, where I had to remind myself daily that God was still working, even when nothing around me confirmed it. Those seasons didn't break me, they built a different version of me, and that same endurance is being forged in you. Not because God wants you weary, but because God needs you strong for what's ahead. Anointed one another layer of your struggle is this: God is removing your dependence on outcomes. Many people only feel secure when circumstances look favorable, but God is teaching you a higher type of security, a security rooted not in what you see, but in who He is. It is one thing to believe God can provide when money is coming in. It is another to believe He is provider when everything around you screams lack. That level of faith cannot be taught, it must be lived. And that is exactly the classroom you are in right now. You are learning to walk by spirit, not sight. You are learning to trust His character when His timing frustrates you. You are learning to anchor your peace in Him, not in numbers or situations. This struggle is also revealing the patterns in your life that God wants to heal. Financial lack often exposes emotional wounds, fear of failure, fear of abandonment, fear of disappointment, fear of not being enough. I had to face those fears in my own journey. I had to confront the parts of me that were terrified of losing control. And it was only when I surrendered those fears that God could begin to transform them. Chosen one. God is using this season to show you what still needs healing, not to shame you, but to free you. Because the next level of your assignment requires emotional stability, spiritual clarity, and inner healing. Chosen. One another powerful truth is this: God is teaching you the discipline of waiting. Waiting is not passive. Waiting is spiritual training. Waiting purifies your motives. Waiting removes impatience. Waiting exposes what you idolize. Waiting detoxes your heart. Waiting reorients your desires. Waiting matures you. I remember waiting seasons that felt endless, where I questioned God's timing repeatedly. But every time I wanted to rush ahead, God gently reminded me that His timing was protection. And when the blessing finally arrived, I understood why the waiting was necessary. You, chosen one, are in a similar place. Heaven has heard your prayers. The delay is not denial. It is divine sequencing. Everything must align, not just circumstances, but you. Another necessary layer of your struggle is that God is preparing you to be a leader, and leaders are shaped differently. Leaders are not built in comfort. They are built in the fire. They are built in adversity. They are built in pressure. They are built when nobody believes in them but God. The compassion, empathy, wisdom, and authority you are gaining in this season will make you a powerful guide for others. You will not speak from theory, you will speak from experience. There is nothing more powerful than someone who can say, "I've been where you are, and God brought me through." You are being given a testimony that will carry weight. And chosen one, there is something else. The financial struggle is loosening your attachment to earthly things so God can anchor you in eternal purpose. You were not born for a shallow calling. You were not created to merely survive. You carry assignment. You carry impact. You carry legacy. And God is ensuring that when He elevates you financially, your heart will stay aligned with heaven, not with materialism or pride. Chosen one, hear this deeply. Your struggle is not the end of your story. It is the awakening of your purpose. You are being shaped, refined, and prepared for a divine shift that will make sense of everything you've endured. Chosen one. As we enter this final movement of revelation, I want you to let every word settle into the deepest places of your spirit. By now, you've begun to understand that your financial struggle has never been about money. It has always been about mastery, maturity, and the molding of your destiny. Heaven has been sculpting you with intention, chiseling away everything that cannot go with you into your next season. And though the process has been uncomfortable, you are emerging wiser, sharper, stronger, humbler, and infinitely more aligned with God's purpose for your life. This final stretch of struggle is not a sign of defeat. It is the contraction before birth, the tightening before release, the final resistance before the door opens. Chosen one try, neck and set. Over the say, greatest mysteries of being chosen is this: when God loves you deeply, He will allow you to feel empty before He fills you. Not because He wants you to suffer, but because He wants you to recognize the source. When you come out of this season, and you will not confuse the blessing for your own brilliance. You will not worship the increase. You will not idolize the resource. You will know with unshakable conviction that it was God who carried you, God who sustained you, God who opened the doors, and God who made a way where there was none. I've lived this truth. There were breakthroughs in my life that arrived at the exact moment when I had nothing left to rely on but God Himself. And when the blessing came, it hit different. It humbled me. It softened me. It taught me gratitude. And chosen one, the same transformation is forming in you. Another profound truth about chosen ones is that God protects them from premature elevation. Many people rise too quickly and collapse under the weight of what they were never built for. But you, God, has been constructing your foundation stone by stone. He has been testing your integrity, refining your character, deepening your faith, and purifying your motives, so that when He elevates you, you will not break, you will build. You will not fall, you will flourish. You will not lose yourself, you will finally become yourself. I've watched God elevate people who were prepared, and I've watched Him remove people who weren't. Preparation is protection. Your struggle has been your preparation. Anointed One, your financial hardship has also been shaping your relationship with obedience. Blessing requires obedience, but obedience requires spiritual sensitivity. God is training you to hear His voice without hesitation. When resources are scarce, you become more attentive. You listen more closely. You discern more accurately. You notice the small nudges, the quiet instructions, the subtle warnings. These are abilities God gives only to those He is preparing for influence. I've had moments when one instruction from God saved me from disaster or opened a door I couldn't open on my own. And those instructions only came because in my season of lack, I learned to listen. You too are being trained to hear God with clarity. Chosen. Another layer of your struggle is compassion. You are being given the gift of understanding. Only someone who has walked through lack can understand the pain of it. Only someone who has endured struggle can speak life into those still fighting. Only someone who has tasted emptiness can appreciate overflow without arrogance. God is creating in you a heart that carries grace, not judgment. Understanding, not pride. Compassion, not coldness. The most impactful leaders in the kingdom are those who remember what the valley felt like. They give differently. They love differently. They lead differently. Your struggle is shaping a heart that will carry others with tenderness and wisdom. Another revelation you must embrace. Chosen one is that divine timing is aligning with your transformation. Heaven does not release what you are not yet ready to hold. But every day you choose faith over fear. Every day you choose surrender over striving. Every day you choose hope over despair. You step closer to the moment when God says, now. And when God says now, everything shifts. Opportunities appear, resources flow, ideas ignite, connections manifest, doors open. What once resisted you begins to recognize you. Your spirit will move from survival to stewardship, from scarcity to strategy, from waiting to walking in purpose. And let me say this with prophetic clarity, you will not stay in this season, not another year, not another cycle, not another chapter. Heaven has measured your endurance and found you ready for the next phase. What felt delayed is about to be delivered. What felt withheld is about to be released. What felt heavy is about to lift. Every tear, every prayer, every silent night, every unseen sacrifice, they have all been recorded in heaven. Nothing has been ignored. Nothing has been forgotten. Nothing has been wasted. Chosen one, your story is about to shift from, why is this happening to me, to, this was preparing me. From, I don't understand this struggle, to I see why God allowed it. From, I am barely holding on, to I am walking in divine strength. You are moving into a season where the lessons of lack will become the pillars of your leadership, where the wounds of this season will become the wisdom of the next, where your pain will turn into power and your pressure will turn into purpose. Chosen one, as this final part concludes, hear this deeply. You're stepping out of survival and into assignment, out of refinement and into release, out of waiting and into becoming. Heaven is not just watching you. Heaven is backing you. And your breakthrough, the one shaped by every moment of this struggle, is already on its way. Chosen one, your season is shifting even now. Heaven has seen your faithfulness, and the divine transfer already moves in your favor. Walk forward with confidence, alignment, and expectation. If this word spoke to your spirit, share it, speak it, and remain connected. Your appointed time is here. Step into it with grace and power.